History loves a simple story: heroes, villains, good versus evil. For centuries, the Punic Wars have been cast as Rome, the noble republic, versus Carthage, the cruel empire. But is that really the truth? What if Rome wasn't the hero, and Carthage wasn't the monster? The Punic Wars were a century-long struggle for control of the Mediterranean, not a simple tale of good and evil. The First Punic War was a brutal naval contest for Sicily II, Hannibal's legendary campaign III, Rome's total destruction of Carthage. But this summary hides a complex reality, one shaped by motivations, betrayals, and propaganda. Rome wrote the history books, and for 2,000 years we've read their version. To find the truth, we must look past the myths and read between the lines. Rome was an expansionist power, hungry for land and glory, while Carthage was a maritime trading empire, its strength rooted in commerce. Their clash was not just military but cultural, a rivalry of ambition and worldviews. The real story is far more nuanced than a simple battle between good and evil. Let's challenge the old narrative and see what really happened when these ancient superpowers collided. The Punic Wars weren't just a fight, they were a turning point that shaped the ancient world. Imagine trying to understand a football match with commentary from only one team's fans. That's our challenge with Carthage. Nearly everything we know comes from Roman sources: Livy, Polybius, Appian, writing for Roman audiences, justifying Roman actions. Carthage's own histories were likely destroyed when Rome razed the city, leaving us with only the victor's version. Roman writers painted Carthaginians as treacherous and cruel, using Punic faith as shorthand for deceit. This wasn't just name-calling, it was propaganda, making Rome's wars seem righteous. By demonizing Carthage, Rome justified its aggression as a moral crusade. We must read these ancient texts with a critical eye, questioning motives and searching for the truth behind the narrative. The history of the Punic Wars isn't settled fact. It's a story pieced together from the rubble and propaganda of conquest. Our task is to reconstruct a lost world from fragments left by its conquerors. It's a monumental challenge, but essential if we want to get closer to the truth. Only then can we see beyond the myths Rome left behind. The most infamous accusation against Carthage is child sacrifice, a story repeated by Roman and Greek sources. But recent archaeology suggests the Tophet was likely a cemetery for infants who died naturally, not a site of mass sacrifice. High infant mortality was common in the ancient world, a special burial ground makes sense. The most lurid tales came from Rome, eager to justify Carthage's destruction by painting its people as monsters. Carthage was actually a marvel, a sea-based empire built on trade, not conquest, with legendary sailors and a bustling, innovative city. Its government was admired by Aristotle for its balance of monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy. Carthage's wealth came from commerce, not plunder. And its society was stable and prosperous for centuries. This is the Carthage Roman propaganda tried to erase, a sophisticated rival, not a barbaric villain. The truth is far more complex than the myths we've inherited. Roman historians cast their city as a reluctant defender, but Rome's actions tell a different story. After the First Punic War, Rome exploited Carthage's weakness, seizing Sardinia and Corsica and demanding more tribute, a move that fueled deep resentment. Hannibal's legendary hatred of Rome was less about aggression, more about responding to injustice. Rome's ambition, not Carthaginian treachery, was the real catalyst for renewed conflict. By the Third Punic War, Carthage was no threat, demilitarized, obedient, and paying reparations. Yet Rome, led by Cato the Elder, demanded impossible terms: hostages, disarmament, and the abandonment of Carthage itself. When Carthage refused, Rome besieged and destroyed the city, slaughtering or enslaving its people. This was not self-defense, it was the ruthless elimination of a rival. Rome didn't just defeat Carthage, it erased it from existence. The reality of Roman imperialism is far more brutal than the noble image in their histories. The Punic Wars reveal the true cost of ambition and power. Rome's victory was total, but at what moral price? The story is not one of justice, but of conquest. For Rome, Hannibal was the ultimate nightmare, a boogeyman and a symbol of terror. Roman histories caricatured him as a cruel, obsessed barbarian, but the truth is far richer. Hannibal was a military genius, outmaneuvering Rome for 15 years and inflicting catastrophic defeats, most famously at Cannae. His crossing of the Alps was a feat of audacity and logistics, leading a diverse army through impossible terrain. Hannibal's real strategy was to break Rome's alliances, not simply destroy the city. He treated prisoners with respect, trying to win over Italy's peoples. Though his grand plan failed, He was a sophisticated leader, not a mindless warlord. Even in exile, Hannibal remained a symbol of resistance, hunted by Rome for years. Reducing his legacy to a single defeat is to accept Roman propaganda. Hannibal was Rome's greatest foe, and a reminder of the complexity behind every legend. For too long, the Punic Wars have been told as Rome's monologue, with Carthage cast as the villain. But history evolves. Archaeologists and historians are now reconstructing a more balanced view. Excavations in Tunisia reveal a vibrant, innovative society, advanced agriculture, urban planning, and a complex culture. The Tophet, once thought a site of sacrifice, is now seen as a cemetery. These discoveries challenge the old caricatures and force us to question Roman sources. We see Hannibal and Carthage as complex, not one-dimensional. The Punic Wars were not a simple clash of good and evil, but a tragic struggle between two great civilizations. History is written by the winners, but our duty is to question, dig deeper, and listen for silenced voices. The real story is about ambition, power, and the devastating cost of war. Only now, after 2 millennia, are we beginning to understand it.